The Lost Princess. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a brave young prince. One day, while wandering through the forest, he overheard a group of villagers talking about a lost princess. The prince's heart was filled with determination to rescue her from the clutches of an evil sorcerer. Without hesitation, the prince decided to embark on a quest to find the lost princess. He packed some food and water in his bag and set off on his journey. The sun was shining brightly as he walked through the lush green forest, feeling both excited and nervous about what lay ahead. As he traveled deeper into the forest, the prince thought about the princess and how grateful she would be once he found her. He hoped to bring her back to her kingdom where she belonged, safe and sound. The prince's steps were firm and determined as he moved forward, guided by the hope of rescuing the princess from the sorcerer's clutches. After a long day of walking, the prince found a clearing in the forest to rest for the night. He built a small campfire and settled down, gazing at the stars above. The prince knew that his journey would not be easy, but he was ready to face any challenges that came his way in order to save the lost princess. The next morning, as the prince continued his journey, he came across a wise old wizard who lived in a small cottage by the edge of the forest. The wizard welcomed the prince and listened attentively to his quest to rescue the lost princess. The wizard nodded knowingly and handed the prince a shining sword. "This sword will protect you on your journey," the wizard said in a kind voice. The prince thanked the wizard gratefully and felt a newfound sense of confidence, knowing he had a powerful weapon by his side. Continuing on his way, the prince soon encountered a group of friendly forest creatures who offered to accompany him on his quest. There was a chirpy bird, a mischievous squirrel, and a wise old owl who all agreed to help the prince in his mission. Together, the prince and his newfound animal friends trekked through the dense forest, their footsteps light and determined. The bird flew ahead to scout for danger. The squirrel scurried around collecting nuts for the journey, and the owl kept watch for any signs of the sorcerer's minions. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, the prince felt grateful for the companionship of his new friends. With their help and the magic sword from the wizard, he knew that he was getting closer to finding the lost princess and defeating the evil sorcerer who had taken her captive. As the prince and his animal friends journeyed through the forest, they faced many challenges. Thick vines blocked their path, dark shadows loomed overhead, and eerie sounds echoed through the trees. But the prince and his companions pressed on, their determination unwavering. Suddenly, the group was ambushed by the evil sorcerer's minions. The prince unsheathed his magic sword, and with swift strikes, he fought off the attackers. The bird swooped down, pecking at the minions, while the squirrel launched acorns at them, and the owl hooted loudly to startle them. Together, they managed to defeat the sorcerer's minions and continue on their quest. As they traveled deeper into the forest, the prince and his friends stumbled upon a treacherous ravine. The only way to cross was a narrow bridge made of old, creaky wooden planks. The prince took a deep breath, steadied himself, and bravely led the way across the bridge, one careful step at a time. The bird flew above to guide them. The squirrel cautiously followed, and the owl watched for any signs of danger. Just as they reached the other side of the ravine, a thick fog enveloped them, making it impossible to see where they were going. The prince knew they had to stay together and rely on their instincts to navigate through the fog. With the magic sword in hand and his companions by his side, the prince forged ahead, determined to overcome any obstacles in their path and rescue the lost princess from the clutches of the evil sorcerer. After overcoming the challenges of the ravine and the fog, the prince and his animal friends finally arrived at the sorcerer's castle. The castle loomed ominously before them, surrounded by tall, jagged walls and guarded by fierce-looking creatures. The prince knew that the princess was inside, waiting to be rescued. With a determined look on his face, he led his companions towards the castle gate. The bird scouted ahead, the squirrel stayed close by, and the owl perched on a nearby tree, keeping watch. As they approached the castle, the sorcerer's trap sprung to life, arrows whizzing through the air and giant boulders rolling towards them. The prince and his friends ducked, dodged, and weaved their way through the deadly obstacles, relying on each other's skills and bravery to reach the princess and defeat the evil sorcerer. Inside the castle, the prince finally found the princess locked in a tower. With the help of his animal friends and the magic sword, he broke the lock and set her free. The princess ran into the prince's arms, grateful to be rescued. Just then, the evil sorcerer appeared, ready to stop them. The prince stood tall, brandishing his sword, prepared to face the sorcerer in a final showdown. With a mighty swing, the prince defeated the sorcerer, saving the princess and bringing peace back to the kingdom.